Hey guys, it's MazeMan112, and today I'm bringing you guys another quick tip, but it's not so quick this time. I'm giving you guys the hardpoint rotations on the new maps. This one is downhill. As you can see right here off the start, it starts in the little ski lift where the gondolas are at. I like to come in the backside on this one just because not a lot of people know that there's that little catwalk back there, and it also gives you where you only have to give one way, you only have to look one way. The one thing to be careful about are these gondolas. These things are a pain in the butt. They just barely touch you and you're going to die. So you got to make sure that you kind of hang out in the middle. To me, this is one of those hard points where you just want one guy, maybe two guys in it, and the rest kind of, gearing up around it because there's lots of obstacles and not a lot of lines of sight. Moving on to the next hard point in this one, it goes to the ski shop over here. There is 3 entrances here. There's 2 doors. I like to post up right here. It gives you a good vantage point right there. And if you don't have someone in that window over there, you can always have someone here on the other side, and it kind of funnels them in there as well. And then have someone else over there, and then someone kind of picking them off on the outside. I like to have that guy playing, or a couple guys playing that Slayer role, and kind of picking them off as they come off around their spawn. Going on to the next hill, you can see it's right here in the middle. And there's something interesting I have to point out about this one, and I'll get to that in a second. As you guys can see right here, you can use this rock. It gives you a good vantage point right here. But if you use this one right here, you're actually outside of the hard point if you kind of use it. But if you go on to the other side, you can be behind this rock. It's still inside the hard point. So you want to make sure that you can kind of control the spawn and have them on that side of the map. And I think, that they want to have them spawning on that side, but that's where the next hard point's at, is over here in this little ski lodge. Not a lot of cover in here, not a lot of stuff to hide behind. The only thing that you can actually jump on in here is this little coffee table or this little table right here. Besides that, you can't really jump on anything else. You look over here and you have these little end tables, these little tables. They are too high to jump on even off the couch, anything like that. You just can't jump on it. After that, it's just rinse and repeat. There's only 4 hard points in all of the new maps. So let's go on and jump on to Mirage. Now, Mirage, the first one, it's where everyone would expect it to be. It's where this giant statue's at. Now, this is a pretty big hard point, so there's lots of different lines of sight you can get. I like to use this statue right here and kind of give it as much cover as well. And sometimes, if you have someone who has an AR, have them kind of play back here in the back of the map and kind of pick them off from the deep side as well. Like I said, there's actually 3 entrances in here. There's the safe vault right here. There's an upstairs right here, but when the upstairs, I like to have this guy right here because you can kind of get all 3 of these windows at the same time. Moving on to the next hill, you can see it's over here by this stupid building in the very back part of the map where they used to have the exercise equipment. Not a lot of cover in here. There's this pretty small hard point. I like to have maybe 1 or 2 people in here and the rest on the outside. That's kind of a continuing kind of theme that I have. I don't like too many people in the hard point just because it gets too crowded and they kind of bum rush you all at one point. I like to use this countertop right here to check out this window and also check out this window, or have someone out there checking out that as well. Moving to the third hard point, it's over here where this bus is at. But one thing I want to point out here, there's not a lot of cover. You can kind of use this to give you a couple different vantage points. You can go behind this bus right here and give you that little kind of hidden view, or behind this little luggage rack that you have going on here. I like to have someone up here using this little head glitch outside of this van as well. It gives them a good vantage point, and they can also give a good call out. One thing I want you guys to be aware of is this car right here. If this isn't already blown up, have someone on your team blow it up so that it's not used against you. On to the last hard point in Mirage. It's freaking tiny. I think it's a sauna or a shower or something they have going on over here. And it's absolutely tiny. And, it's got to be the smallest hard point that I've seen so far. Moving on to Hydro. There's another 4 ones. The first one is where you guys would all imagine it to be. It's smack dab in the middle one. But again, notice the theme that you have a couple different lines of sight, a couple things of cover, but you don't have a lot going on. This hard point is absolutely tiny. And what's in the middle of it? This giant freaking bomb they have with this van. So like I said, have someone on your team blow this up. That way it's not used against you in the bad way. Moving on to the second hard point, it's in this little turbine over here by where A domination would be. To me, these hard points and these new maps seem like an afterthought when they put them in, and they just don't have a lot of cover. Then they're kind of a bad location, and maybe it's just Hydro. Hydro is a kind of a really condensed map. It's very uniform, it's very symmetrical, so it's a little redundant and it's kind of boring. Alright, moving on to the next hill. I like to hide behind this concrete barrier right here because it gives you a good vantage point into both windows and also gives you a good viewpoint of the guys coming from B-Dom. You can also kind of sneak back in this back corner right here and kind of pick people off from here as well. But one thing I want you guys to be aware of is listen to that noise. Yes, the freaking water comes in the middle of a freaking hill, and you got to be careful because the water will just take you out. So it's almost like you could use this to your advantage if you're kind of getting down, or you could be like me and be an idiot and kind of jump into it as well. Moving on to the last hard point for Hydro, it's in the same, or it's on the opposite turbine as the one before. It's a mirror image, so kind of get the same hold down spots that you would like before. I like to get behind this turbine. Maybe it's because I like this medium range. I don't want to get behind this barrel right here because this is too long for me. Most of the time I run an SMG, and I don't like it to be that long of a sight. Moving on to the last map, this is Grind. Now Grind, to me, has a very weird hardpoint setup. I feel like this is one of those ones where you only want one guy in it, and the rest just completely around it because they're tiny and they have no cover. I mean, it seems like maybe it's just because the Grind is a kind of a revolutionary type map where there's not a lot of cover. The second hill right here goes into the locker room in the middle of the map. Like I said, there's only this one little countertop right here. Besides it, it is completely open and it has 4 different ways of entry if you include that window right there. And it just makes it very hard to kind of have any kind of cover holding it down. So you want to have lots of communication and people spread out. The third hill on this one is right here on this little vert ramp or whatever ramp you want to call it. I don't know the proper verbiage, but like I said, there's not a ton of cover. You can kind of have someone sitting over there checking out that door, someone kind of over here as well. But like I said, this is definitely a map where you want one person, maybe 2 people at the most inside of the hill, and the rest of people just kind of spread out around it. The last hill is in the very back of the map where A domination would be. And like I said, not a lot of cover. It's got more than the rest of them. You can kind of use these little half ramps here as cover, and you can use this as a little head glitch as well. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys want me to see me break these maps down any further, or you guys want to see this done with any other maps. Make sure you guys leave it in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Spotlight bitches, today go ahead and check out the Art of the Strafe. Make sure you guys check that one out as well.